me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue. I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall, and if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Welcome to Open Mic America. I'm your MC. I'm Dave Williams, and I'm joined by Matt Meehan as our interviewing host. Say hi, Matt. And our show engineer is Alice Osborne. Our mission is to support your local open mics, and it's our pleasure to present the more accomplished players from these events. Without gimmicks and frills, this is the beating heart of American music. These folks represent the tapestry of story and song that's been weaving our country together for generations. So without further ado, our first performer tonight is Tom Cooney from Pennsburg, PA. And I'm supposed to read all the performers first, actually. Okay, Tom Cooney, wave from Pennsburg. Joseph Isaacs from Columbia, Maryland. Give us a wave. Elsie Eastman from Boston, Massachusetts. Where else? Evan Acey from Beaverton, Oregon. Rick Drost from Cambridge, Massachusetts. Glenn Merschel from Monroe, North Carolina. Jillian Matundan from Herndon, Virginia. And Pat Buckner from Powell River, British Columbia. So now back to where I was with Tom. Tom, I didn't get a chance earlier. Where's your favorite open mic to play locally, please?
One of the songwriting groups I belong to is the Philadelphia Area Songwriters Alliance, PASA. And like their open mic, they co-run it with the famous Philadelphia Folk Song Society. That's my favorite open mic.
Great, and we have that on our website right now, so folks can go and check that out if they want to. So Tom, take it away. Let's hear what you got tonight for us.
Wonderful. Good to see everyone, and it's good to see everyone at Open Mic America again. First song I'm playing is an original called Empty Pages. It's about trying to make the most of each day. Today, it's full of empty pages. Will it be lost? Or will it be one for the ages? Today my soul might get its fill if I keep my heart open and my thoughts still. Today it's full of empty pages. Well, today it's full of hope and fear for the things in my life that I hold dear. I might defeat the anger, always crying out for more, if I starve that wolf howling at the door. Today it's full of hope and fear. Well, I see that you are tired like me and angry and frustrated, living through these surreal tragedies. But we can beat the hate, the lies, the greed. If we stand together, love might be our destiny. Well, today, it's full of light and truth. I will find it, I'm gonna share it with you. I will try in my heart to be kind to friend and enemy alike. Today it's full of light and truth. Today it's full of hope and fear. Today is full of empty pages. Empty pages. Empty pages.
Great message.
Nice.
Great message.
Thank you so kindly.
Nice.
Thank you.
Great.
I find myself needing to sing that song some days more than others. It's always a good thing to be positive. The next song is an original song I wrote honoring my late dad and my late uncle, who were much older when they were born, so they fought in World War II. So the first verse is in my dad is in it, and my uncle's in the second. And the third verse is a message for today. The name of the song is Take Those Fascists Down. My dad trained the young men in small artillery in the Carolina summer heat. It was 1943. He choked up and prayed Godspeed the day the boys left town. As the train pulled out of town, he cried, "Take those fascists down." Uncle Don swam off the Higgins toward the Iwo Jima sand. He crawled face down in the jungle, a gun and prayer in his hands. He would never walk again. A sniper his spine had found, but until the day he died, he cried, "We took those fascists down." Now they're crawling out from under rocks, crying racial supremacy. They're building laws and walls and cages to keep people underneath. And the mighty and the moneyed, well, they use them as their tools. If we aren't woke to that, then we sure heck are through. Neo-Nazi, nationalist QAnon, names they use to seek cred. But today, as through all time, they must be put in their stead. There's more of us than them in every American town, so hit the streets and the voting booths. Take those fascists down. Take those fascists down. I said take, I said take. I said, take those fascists down.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
All right. Where's Matt? Take over.
I'm here. Great songs, Tom. Thank you. I really relate to and appreciate both of those sentiments. And it's cool how you combine them, because the first one, is very positive, but you're not looking away from the negativity of the world too. So,
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, really wonderful. Can you say anything about where that Empty Pages song came from?
It literally came at the beginning of Empty Pages. I was going from one songwriting book to a brand new one of a couple hundred pages. And I didn't know what to say that morning, and I hadn't known what to say for quite a few mornings. And the key, empty pages, and I looked at it and I said, it's full of empty pages. It's possibility, it's not emptiness. So it kind of struck me. The way the muse kind of strikes you and helps you.
Yeah. So it was actually a writing situation where you weren't sure what to say.
Yeah.
And then you realized that meant there was possibility.
Yeah.
I really liked it because I think when we think we know what's going to happen, we tend to go on autopilot, and whether it's today, just going through the motions of the day, or historically thinking we know what the outcome's going to be. And, the outcome is to be determined by what we do. So, which is in both your songs.
That's a good insight. Yeah.
Can you, I've noticed that you have a podcast called Songwriters Alive. Can you tell us something about that?
It's a monthly one. I'm going on my 31st episode. I interview live a songwriter who plays 3 or 4 songs. We visit their website and talk about their music craft and where folks can find their music and where they might be gigging. And it's something I started doing at the beginning of the pandemic, as well as my own personal live stream. I was pretty frustrated at how things had shut down, as many musicians were. So I just decided to learn all about podcasting and streaming, and made lots of errors and had lots of fun.
So that's a really nice community building gesture too, to get others, forefront some other songwriters. How do you decide who you're going to have on?
Well, I started locally in Philadelphia, then up to the Lehigh Valley, then Middle Atlantic. So it's just kind of spreading by word of mouth, and people come to me, and if that doesn't happen, I'll reach out to someone, and it's nice, and it is a nice way to pay back to the community. Well, pay forward to the community is a better way I like to think about it. I never ask any of the performers or writers I have on to pay back anything to me. I ask them, pay it forward, keep this whole thing going. Just like Dave and all the folks at Open Mic America are doing.
Yeah, with songwriters supporting one another is really key. Cool. Well, I'm going to check the podcast out. It sounds really interesting.
Cool. Thanks, Mac. Looking forward to hearing you.
Thanks so much for coming on and sharing those songs.
Thanks.
And Matt? Okay, next up is Joseph Isaacs from Columbia, Maryland. Where's Joseph?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Joseph. I noted earlier that you like the Music Matters Showcase. Is that virtual that you...
It is. Well, actually, it's both now. It started out in person, and then the pandemic hit and it went virtual, and now there's an in-person version and a virtual version, so I alternate Saturdays, and we have some performers here tonight.
Is that in Maryland? Is that in Maryland?
The physical one is in Arbutus, Maryland, near south of Baltimore.
Arbutus?
Yeah, it's Baltimore County.
Okay, great. All right, take it away.
Okay. Wow, Tom, that was great. I think I'm kind of following in Tom's footsteps a little bit here. This is one that I wrote based on the story of the 7 blind men that go and see the elephant. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the story, but in case you're not, they're all feeling different aspects of the elephant and arguing about what the concept of an elephant is. I always thought that was just a really profound story. There's almost as many morals to the story as there are blind men, ways of interpreting the moral of the story. So. 7 blind men went to see an elephant. Sound coming in okay? First one touched its knee, said it's like a tree. Third said, for heaven's sake. Sorry. 7 blind men went to see an elephant. First one grabbed its knee, said it's like a tree. Second, I cannot believe I'm forgetting the song. I just played this a second ago. I got this. Second gaze, said it's like a tree. The third grabbed his side and said, that's not it at all. Can't you see that an elephant is more like a wall? They cannot find. You know what? I'm going to come back to this song. I'm sorry. I don't know what is wrong with me because that's like one of the songs I play the most. But I got a forest full of trees. I got a sky full of breeze. I got everything I need. Maybe we're in heaven, we just don't know. Maybe we're in heaven and we just don't see. Maybe we're in heaven if we breathe. There's a man there in line and he's tapping his toes. Getting quite impatient, see it from his pose. Woman in the same line, whistling a happy song. So much music in her feet, I just wanna sing along, find out what the hell she knows. I got a sky full of breeze. I got a forest full of trees. I got everything I need. Maybe we're in heaven, we just don't know. Maybe we're in heaven, we just don't see. Maybe we're in heaven if we breathe. I know a man in Afghanistan, he longs to stand where I stand. Yet here I stand and I can't seem to see all the beauty around me. I gotta open up my eyes. Oh, maybe if I breathe. Maybe if I breathe. I got a forest full of trees. I got a sky full of breeze. I got everything I need. Maybe we're in heaven, we just don't know. Maybe we're in heaven and we just don't see. Maybe we're in heaven if we breathe. Maybe we're in heaven and we just don't know. Maybe we're in heaven and we just don't see. Maybe we're in heaven if we breathe. Breathe. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And just erase the other song. When it was Aunt Gabby's time to go, she said toe to heel, heel to toe. Oh no, don't you cry for me. At least I went happy. And if you get the chance, don't forget to dance. Now Uncle Leo played guitar. They never became a star, but that cat never lost his smile Oh, that man, he sure had style. And he said, if you get the chance, do your best to make 'em, do your best to make 'em dance or sway a little. Now, Aunt Judy, she ran marathons. That lady could just go on and on. She ran real hard but never lost that smile. She sure would go the extra mile. And she would say, have some fun. I hope you have a real good run. Now when it's my time to go, one thing I don't want to hear is boo, poor Joe. I had some fun, I wrote some songs. Some of them didn't even come out too wrong. And I know this is my chance. I'm gonna do my best to make you, my best to make you dance. At least tap your toes a little. Now when it was Aunt Gabby's time to go, she said toe to heel, heel to toe. Oh no, don't you cry for me. At least I went happy. And if you get the chance, don't forget to, don't forget to. And if you get the chance, don't forget to, don't forget to, don't forget to dance.
Yeah. Sweet.
Thank you very much.
What do you say,
Awesome
Matt?
songs. Awesome songs, Joseph.
Thank you so much.
That one, the last one you did worked on me. I was dancing in my chair even before you said
Mission
to.
accomplished.
Before I was instructed, I was already doing it, so
Awesome.
it worked.
I hope you know, a lot of these songs like are kind of reminders to myself too, you know, because I'll forget, you know, to have some fun, and I'll forget to breathe, and so like they're sort of I figure if they're relevant to me, then maybe they'll strike a chord with someone else as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of times songwriters say that, you know, the songs are wiser than we are. You know, like they're sort of the voice of our best self coming through,
Absolutely.
and guidance for ourselves as much as each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then other people benefit from it. So, do you want to say more about the Music Matters showcase? Are you the host of that, or
I am, yeah.
started,
So, yeah, it's going on select Saturdays, the online version, and it's at 7:30 Eastern time. So, musicians who are interested in performing it, I'll plot my information in the box, and it's also on the Open Mic America website, I believe. So, but I'll put it in the chat box too as well.
and then
you
what's
can
the
also find it by searching Facebook for Music Matter Showcase.
okay? And then what's the live event like? You probably just restarted those recently, right?
Yeah, it's fun. So I had been at a cafe in Columbia, Maryland, and they didn't renew their music license. So now I am at this place run by UMBC, the University of Maryland in Baltimore. So it's a totally different scene, but totally fun. So it's been a great experience meeting some new people. So you know what they say, like when one door closes, another opens. So it's been neat.
True that. So what got you started? What motivated you to want to start a showcase?
Well, I started when I first started playing out, I would go to open mics, and I would see some amazing talent. Does this sound familiar? And and then I'd go out to some of their shows, and they'd be like, no one there, you know. And I was like, what is wrong with that? And I sort of came to the realization that we can go further together. I think as Capo Dave and many people here have, that we can go further together than we can separately. So, just like I think you guys haven't looked back since starting this, I haven't looked back since starting my own either.
Yeah, that's so true. I used to host a bunch of song gatherings at my house, and you know, get other songwriters to come in. It was because I wanted the community, you know, around me of other songwriters. And I think all great music comes out of community. If you think about it, there's always a community of collaborators and other musicians, you know, sharing.
Absolutely.
So can you say anything about how you first got started writing? Like when was the moment when you thought I could do that and I get up on the stage?
Yeah, it was kind of weird because like I was just playing for a while, like in my little apartment, and then I guess I got to this point. I was like, I got into like I played all standard tuning tonight, but I do a lot in alternate tunings. I was playing all these Joni Mitchell songs. I was starting to write these songs in alternate tunings. I was like, you know what? I need to get some of these out there, you know, because I just got to that point where I just felt like that was where I need to go next, and so that's what I did.
So did you start with an open mic?
I started, yeah. I just started going out there, going to open mics, and meeting people, and yeah, it all went. And then
The rest is history.
And it's all. I haven't regretted it, any minute of it, because for me, like, there's a lot of fear associated with music, I think, at times, and even disappointment, like, at times. But pushing through all that, there's also joy, you know, and I think that's, like, the main thing, you know. So I think for me, it just makes me happy, you know. It's not there's nothing illusory about it for me. I mean, it's like medicine, and it's just good for me all around. And I think people seem to enjoy what I do, so why not get it out there, you know?
Yeah, right on. Awesome. Well, thanks for bringing the songs here. A real pleasure, and look forward to hearing more.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Joseph.
Thanks, Joseph and Matt. Next up is Elsie Eastman. Where are you, Elsie? She's one of our good friends at Open Mic America. And Elsie is from Boston, so you've got your pick of things to play. What's your favorite live venue over there these days?
I would say my favorite live venue is probably Club Passim. I've played a couple shows there. They have their famous campfire twice a year, and it's a music festival, and that was really fun to play a couple times, once virtually, once in person, and hopefully again soon. But yeah, that's probably like my favorite place that I've played around here so far.
Is Passim not one of the oldest running open mics in America? Am I wrong about that?
I believe it might be. I do believe it might be. I don't know the exact year, but yeah, they've definitely got a long history with a lot of cool alums to show for it. You know, you can look back when I first got invited to play at Campfire a while ago. They had some kind of history you could look through, and I was looking through the old show posters, and there was like Lake Street Dive and Regina Spektor, and I'm like, okay, like that's fine.
Okay, let's hear what you got today, Elsie. Looking forward to hearing you.
So this is a song that I wrote that just came out as a single. My upcoming album is coming out on October 7th, and so this song I just released about a week and a half ago. And it's called Good Friends, and it's a celebration of finding your place and feeling like you've finally like found your community and people around you who support you. And for me, that was moving to Boston, and you know, it doesn't happen immediately, so this was definitely like a really happy moment that I wrote this song. So this is out everywhere, and it's called Good Friends. Sleeping on my new friend's couch, wine stains all around my mouth, playing on his ancient out-of-tune guitar. Lost my glasses and my phone, think I broke part of his home, but I'm feeling pretty happy so far. Sun is streaming through the window, glass of water by my head, isn't that the way that it should be? friend came home with me for a weekend-long Maine slumber party. I don't know the last time I got so many hugs. I played a gig, she sang along, knows the words to all my songs. Tell me if you think that isn't love. We see each other every day. I know when she is not okay. Isn't that the way that life should be? I've got good friends, good friends, good friends who love me, and I love them equally. And I always wanted something like this. I think we all do. I needed a place to put this kindness, and now I have new friends who give it back 100-fold. I'm the luckiest person in the world. Went away for one short week on vacay with family, and I wake up to see 3 friends texting asking where I've been. I've never felt so loved before. Don't know what I did to earn this love from them. Roommates and bandmates and best friends and bad dates and life the way I wanted it to be. I've got good friends, good friends, good friends who love me. I've got good friends, and I love them equally.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
So now I'm going to take you on a field trip to my piano. So I hope everyone has their seatbelts on. Let me just move that, okay? It's going to be a little adventure trying to not unplug the microphone. I could have made my life easier by doing it in the same room, but why make life easy when you can make it difficult, right? Okay. Oh, please don't unplug. Just a moment. So, oh, did it work? Yep, we're okay? Okay. So I have an album, like I said, coming out October 7th, and this was the other single that I've already released. And this was the first one I released. It's sort of a dream come true because it has cello in the song, and unfortunately I don't play the cello, so I also can't play both at once, and thus you will not get cello tonight. But if you go find it on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you listen to songs, you will hear the cello, which is like unbelievably beautiful, amazing, can't believe this is really happening, feels like a dream. So you should check it out. But anyway, this is called 5 a.m. and this, I think it pretty much speaks for itself, so maybe I'll just leave it there. I do need to figure out where to put these wires. Okay. Here. Hang on. Hopefully I'll just play across the wires and it won't matter. Okay. Okay. 5 a.m. and I'm still up, not tired from our night. It could have been a little much, but I'm glad you stayed the night. And there are things that I can't say, some things I'll never tell. I hope that I can find a way to forget the things I know too well. Think of nothing. Breathe in, breathe out like 1, 2. Remind me to breathe when I forget. Hold me 'cause you can. Feel me here right next to you. The rarity of a woman, man. Forget what strange waves run so deep. The oddity of thought. I want to say I want you to. Meant to be kind, but I forgot. Think of nothing. Breathe in, breathe out like 1, 2. Think of nothing. Just the feel of you. Too much in my brain, I can't sleep. Could you clear out my thoughts just to let me be? Too much in my brain, I can't sleep. I count my blessings instead of sheep. 1, 2. Early morning and I'm anxious. Put your hand on my heart again. Feeling warm and scared and helpless. Analyzing everything. Don't know how to do this. Don't know how to be with you. 5 a.m. and I can't sleep. Breathe in and out. 1, 2.
Wow.
Wow. Gorgeous.
Wonderful.
Elsie, what wonderful songs. Really beautiful.
I hope you look up the album when it's out because I'm very proud of it.
And it's coming out, you said October 7th?
October 7th, and I have a album release show happening at the Jungle in Somerville, so the next town outside of Boston.
So
and
anyone
I
in
have-
the area,
Yeah,
October
so-
7th, the Jungle.
Yes, it's a music club and got 3 other acts that I booked, friends of mine, amazing musicians, and then I'll be closing out the night with the album.
So what was the recording experience like?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I actually worked with a studio who specializes in helping people crowdfund albums. And so I actually did a crowdfunding campaign in 2020, and we raised almost $10,300 to record this album. And so there was, before the recording, there was the whole process of the crowdfund and asking people for donations and fulfilling all these like little perks that I've promised them, and there's still a few more to do. But, you know, reaching out to everybody, which is really cool because even though it was a lot of work and a lot of time, it was cool to reconnect with a lot of people who might be interested, and then people donated, so they're like invested, literally invested in, in what happens. And so then, because it was a pandemic, it was kind of hard. So the first song we did in like a month, and the rest of it took forever because people kept getting COVID, and we couldn't be in the same room, and then everything had to be virtual, and then they had construction, and then they were moving, and then it was just like, it was like a cartoon. It was like, how many more things can go wrong, and how long could this possibly take? But I'm really happy with the final product. So it was definitely like a trial and a tribulation, but it was insanely cool. I've never recorded in a studio before. I have other music out, but I recorded it all myself, and it's not, anything even touching the surface of what a studio can do with the sound engineer, producer, and a band. So so it sounds amazing. And then I tacked on a couple bonus songs at the end as well. So that'll be
Sounds
cool.
like you had a really good experience being in the
Yeah,
studio and
it
having
was.
having other people play, and the cello.
Oh my God. The cello
Yeah,
is like a lifelong dream. Like I'm very excited about it. And I mean, you can go hear that song now. It's like, now when I play it, it sounds empty without the cello. Like I can hear the like sweeping cello in my head as I'm
yeah.
playing, and I'm like, they can't hear it, but like
It's
I
a
can hear
it's
it.
definitely a voice that can say things that it doesn't seem like any other instrument
For
can
sure.
say quite as deeply.
Yeah.
So I was really moved by your first song. It's such a celebration of finding connection and kind of finding your tribe and being welcomed, and finding
Yeah.
that deep human connection. And is that kind of what happened when you moved to Boston? Is that a
So
product?
it wasn't immediate. I moved to Waltham first, and I was very lonely. And, it's so far outside the city that, if you miss that commuter rail, the next one's in 3 hours. So you can just, when people after work are like, oh, yeah, let's go out for drinks, I'm like, I can't, gotta catch my train. And I ended up moving into Brighton, which is where I still live now, same apartment. And that's where I joined a Taekwondo club, and I met a lot of people there. And the first verse was about my friend who then we ended up dating, and now he's my ex. But it was a very like wonderful feeling of just like these friends that I've made that are all there for me. And like, after feeling so lonely in Waltham for a long time, finally feeling like, if I have an emergency, like I've got people there for me, which happened the very next day after I wrote the song. I like had to go to the ER, and one of those friends, second verse, like she took me to the ER the next day, and I was like, see, I knew it. I knew it. So
I
yeah,
loved you had
it
that.
still makes me really happy to listen back to it and play it.
I loved in that song you had the rhyme of bandmates and bad dates. I love that you had even bad dates were part of what you were celebrating. Like
Yeah.
that's part of the joy of community
Yeah, and
too.
just being young in the city, like
Yeah.
I'm in my 20s, like they're mostly bad dates. Like, and that's just
Right.
life.
Well, I wonder, do you feel like you putting your music out there is what led to those connections?
Um, I mostly found those connections not through musical things, but the music has definitely helped me find other people. And in fact, my roommate, who this is a different roommate than the song, but my roommate and is now sort of a bandmate as well, and they're going to be backing me up at my album release show. And it's fun how it brings people together. I've met a lot of cool people at open mics and different performances with multiple bands where you get to talk to the other bands. And so in the case of the people in the song, it was mostly not musical, but that doesn't mean that my life is devoid of musical friends, not by
Right.
any means.
Well, it's certainly a joy to hear your songs, and thank you. It's been a real pleasure hearing you and talking with you. And
Yeah,
good
my
luck with the
pleasure.
CD.
Yes, thank you. October 7th. Follow me on Spotify.
Thanks, Elsie and Matt. Next up, Evan AC. Now, Evan is a new member of our OMA team, and Evan is a triple threat. He's going to be doing the technical, the engineering, the interviewing, and the host roles. So we're very grateful to have someone with that level of competence join us. And without further ado, he also happens to be a pretty good songwriter and guitar player. So let's hear what he's got for us tonight.
Wow, no pressure, right, Dave? So, all right. So the first song that I'm going to bring to the table tonight is one that my wife and I wrote together. it's funny, you want to write a song, and there's so many really beautiful love songs out there, and you think, who was it, Bob Dylan or somebody said that all the good songs have been written? Well, I've never really believed that, but I still wanted to find a good song inside myself. And so my wife and I sat down one day and we said, well, why don't we just write our story and put it to song? I said, okay, well, let's do that. And this is it. It's called Happy Little Boy, Happy Little Girl. Well, I know a boy who looked at the world with wonder and amazement. He danced and he twirled, kicking up rainbows, sailing puddles, oceans in his hand. A girl with a butterfly in her hair, singing and a dancing with her own kind of flair, waiting for someone to come and see all the things she'd found to share. Happy in the sun, having simple fun. They love to dance, they love to run, and then one day they notice something stirring in their hearts brand new. He said, I don't think I really understand. She said, you don't have to, just take me by the hand. Now they walk together, finding seashells and treasures in the sand. Just a happy little boy with a happy little girl, dancing and a singing, living in the world. So happy just to be here, so happy just to hold each other's hand. Well, I am the boy, and you are the girl. We've got the best thing in the whole world. We've got the thing that everybody's looking for throughout the land. Just a happy little boy with a happy little girl, dancing and a singing, living in the world. So happy just to be here, so happy just to hold each other's hand. Well, I am the boy and you are the girl. We've got the best thing in the whole world. We've got the thing that everybody's looking for throughout the land. Yeah, we've got the thing that everybody's looking for throughout the land.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good one, Evan.
Thank you. It's her dad's favorite song. So the next one is one that I wrote, and I think I shared this one with Dave before. But, you know, really, like, I live an amazing life. I feel really gifted to, you know, life this good is a gift. And I don't like to squander it. And every day I get up, I try and be a blank piece of paper and just see what life is going to bring. And one of the things that I've discovered is a lot of it has to do with how I react and to what's happening, and how I react has a lot to do with my perspective. And so this song is called New Perspective. I went down to the ocean and dove into a plastic tree. I thought, my God, the ocean's dying, increasing toxicity. But then I sailed out to deep water, and I was free. Yeah, I saw nothing but clear water as far as I could see. down to the country drugstore and witnessed a robbery. I thought, my God, society is dying. Violent toxicity. But then I went to Sunday meeting and I got free. Yeah, I got free. I saw love and people caring for each other and meeting other people's needs. Yeah. Well, sometimes a new perspective is all that I need. I need a new perspective. Sometimes a new perspective is exactly what I need.
Wonderful, Evan.
Thank you.
It's good to hear you.
It's good to be heard.
So what was the experience of writing a song with your wife like? Did that go smoothly?
Actually, it did. It went incredibly smooth. Again, one of the things that makes me get up every day and say that I feel really fortunate to get to be me is my wife and I, we work together, we sing together, we pray together, we play together, we get mad together. I mean, all the things that people do. I notice a lot of relationships don't have the ability to be so closely knit as my wife and I are. And so again, something I don't take that for granted. And that song came out really, really super well.
Nice.
Except when I forgot to mention one time performing it that she also, was in on the writing, and that didn't quite go as well as I had hoped it would.
Yeah.
Don't
You got to
make that
share that
mistake
credit.
again.
Yeah, that's key. So how long have you been married?
27 years.
Awesome. Congratulations. Well, the positivity of the relationship certainly came out in the song. So now, have you co-written a lot? Is that something you do regularly?
Oh, no way. No, I play a lot of cover songs. My local claim to fame is I know 173 of the Moody Blues songs by heart. And, they all sound like Puff the Magic Dragon, but when I get on the stage, it's really hard to get me off of the stage. I like to hear the sound of my voice amplified, but writing songs is one of those things. People, I listen to the songs that you guys write and the feelings that you put out, and I have all those feelings, but to try and put them in the words, we live in a world where it's pretty easy to piss a lot of people off, and I love everybody, and I want to be able to continue to love everybody. And so sometimes showing your cards, can really put people on edge. And I live a life of trying to help people find peace. And so if that means keeping my song to myself, then I'm going to do that.
That makes sense. I heard Todd Snyder once introduce a song. He has a song called "Conservative Christian Right Wing Republican Straight White American Males," and he introduced it by saying, "There's a lot of opinion." He said, "I'm a folk singer, so there's a lot of opinions in my songs, and they're my opinions." And he said, "I just want everyone to know that I'm not telling them to you because I think they're smart. I'm not telling them to you because I think they're right. I'm not telling them to you because I think you ought to know them. I'm telling them to you because they rhyme." And it's funny because I heard a lot of people comment that would have been offended by the song who went, "Well, it's okay. He's just saying, it's just his point of view. I would have been offended if he hadn't said that." So I think there's ways to do it, but
So
can you?
one of my friends one time, I wrote a piece that I composed because I love to play guitar, and I sent it to him. And I said, listen to this song I wrote, And he immediately sent back, that was a really good piece, but you need to understand it's a composition because it has no words. And if you have words but no composition, you have a poem. But when you take words and mix it with a composition, then you have a song. So, and really that was an eye opener for me because, so I do have poetry and I do have compositions, but finding the two, I can say that the 5, 6, 8, 10 songs that I have written come really fast. Like I don't have any that I really had to labor over. It's almost like it just like it drops right out of the sky and it's yours in a few minutes, and you go, wow, that's really cool.
It's a
And
gift.
I live for those moments. Look forward to more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the magic when it just comes like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about influence? I know it's a music hall, but it looks like from your sign, it's an art gallery too, or
So I could talk about it forever. I'll be very brief. 16 years ago, I started playing these Moody Blues covers, and I wanted everybody to hear I thought it was the coolest thing since the Moody Blues. And nobody else actually thought I was. And so the open mics, it was difficult to get back on the stage after I went and blew it once. And so I saw an opportunity to open a space because my city was looking for an art gallery. And I opened up a venue and I said, no matter who you are, no matter what you play, no matter how good you are at it or how badly you suck, when you take the stage in our venue, you're going to be a star for 3 songs or 15 minutes, whichever comes first. And that was 16 years ago. And we've only missed 2 Fridays in 16 years. Both of those Fridays fell on Christmas. And some of us were like, we're going to go there. So Influence is open. And our wives gave us the go ahead, go. So we've missed 2 in 16 years. That's Influence Music Hall in Hillsboro, Oregon.
awesome. Sounds really cool. I'll have to check that place out. So thank you, Evan. Really
Thank you,
enjoyed
Matt.
your songs.
And thank you, Capo Dave, for rocking America once again, brother.
You're here.
Thanks, Evan and Matt. Wonderful, wonderful. And Evan, thank you for the wonderful work you do with Influence. It's a great thing for the community. That's in Beaverton, Oregon. Am I correct in saying that? Yeah.
Influence is actually in Hillsboro. It's a 10-minute
Hillsboro.
drive from Beaverton. Yeah, we're one community. Yep, Hillsboro, Oregon.
Thanks
Dave.
so much. Thanks, and we're really glad you're a member of the team. Thank you. Okay, and now from the green pastures of Cambridge, Massachusetts, is Rick Drost. When we started the show, gosh, it's one of the early shows. I was interviewing someone, one of the better musicians that we've had on the show, and I don't remember who it was now. One of the questions I ask sometimes is, what's the best guy you've ever heard drop dead great just sitting listening to somebody play? He never hesitated. He said, Rick Drost. And I said, let's get him on the show. So no pressure, Rick.
Okay.
Seriously, we love your music and love to have you on the show.
Well, I've loved coming back, and every time I hear old friends and I make new friends, it just inspires the heck out of me to hear people writing songs and putting it out there. So I'll start with well, let's see. This is the first song I wrote when I came back to writing and singing out. And it starts with an old a player piano that I'd moved into the living room where I moved into, always wanting to play it. And there's a lot of home and family. I was just back to Lake Erie family house, and there's some verses about that in there. So I'll just do it. It's kind of a sentimental song. Old player piano. Let's get a little more guitar in there. Old player piano, come take me away from whatever I thought so important today. For 18 long years I have left you neglected, except for some treasures on top I've collected. Pink shells from the Gulf, a framed tide pool serene, 2 bulldogs, my junior high little league team. I'll sit by this shrine, let your vibrations guide me, to play you again with my dream. Pictures come take me back out to the lake, where the evening sun gilds the beach stairs with grace. A family out picking cabbage and corn. Some are still with us, some have passed on, but the light that we love still streams through the trees there, over vines up the ridge toward the clouds and the clear. Pictures keep beaming above my piano, remind me my loved ones are near. Old broken metronome brought from my father's home, presto is now the lone tempo, you know. Take me back to the time when you kept time so slow, kept me practicing when I just wanted to grow up and follow my brother to the world he had known. Play guitar, steal a kiss, find a love of my own. Mahogany, obelisk, keeping time slow, told me then what I now yearn to know. Piano, I pray thee now, do as you will with this errant old singer who sits by you still. Let your chords tie into love locked inside of me, songs that can comfort, inspire and thrill. You're part of a dream that just won't fade away, and I thought till just now I had no more to say. So my fingers alight as your keys black and white turn me open and play me tonight.
Really nice.
Lovely.
Very wonderful.
Wonderful.
Nice.
I'm gonna switch guitars for a minute. Let's see. So here's an old song. It's a saga song. So I've had it since I graduated from college almost. It's on the album. It's called Season Search. It ends the album. So, the story of my life. Back the guitar. Now he wanted to be here. Okay. I loved the girl in winter, though in February's thaw love fell off forlorn like icicles from afternoon eaves. She kissed me, made of spring and sprightly, not unkindly, quite politely, laughing evanesced into the limey-dimey leaves. Thinking that there must be more, not knowing I was looking for what I just lost, I searched the season, set my heart at ease. I searched on cheery city nights of liquor, laughter, pretty lights, but friends and busy men could not outweigh the bleary days. While I searched, it seemed they'd found, they'd pass me by, eyes on the ground, like polished marbles fallen through some molded plastic maze. On a summer sailboat ride, shiftless drifting with the tide, between the sky and sea a playful dolphin circled me. Of silent rounds he had his fill, then smiled and did a belly roll, and flashing plumbed the greening depths of crystal mystery. I dove to follow, swallowed only blue sovereignty. Sitting in an August orchard, having lost all lust, a tortured, sultry, sulky youth, with naught to do but lie and laze. There came a man in coveralls, he seemed to be a lover of all life, and as he saw me out, his cheerful voice he raised. Glory in the golden sunshine, gather grapes and make sweet wine, for son, you know the nights will soon be longer than the days. And saying this, he picked himself a pocket full of apples, and whistling disappeared into the silver August haze. I met a woman in October, with my season almost over, on a dusky hilltop overlooking everywhere. Words of greeting had we none, by silent secret marks we knew we'd found a place for winter, and we'd see each other there. casting slender shadows in the cold November sun, throwing out sharp shadows in the gold November air.
Nice.
Wonderful. He's an insert.
Two beautiful songs, Rick. What a pleasure.
Thank you.
You've been writing songs and playing them for a long time.
Well, yeah, off and on. I started really writing. We did a lot of Kingston Trio and Peter, Paul, and Mary in high school. And when I got to college, I got into choral singing and that sort of thing. But we all discovered Joni Mitchell. And that really kicked off the writing for me, and Leonard Cohen as well. And so I played open mics and things during my career. I worked as a computer programmer and retired a few years ago. But so all the while I was doing something with music, either choral or yeah, even small madrigal groups. And then we had a little band in Cambridge for a while. And then there was a little hiatus, and I picked up again in 2000. That first song came about from a Bob Franke songwriter clinic workshop that I went to. Bob Franke's a wonderful songwriting teacher. I just plug him.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people mention getting a lot from his
And
teaching.
that basically kicked me off. Somebody heard it and said, "Hey, you can absolutely do this. Keep going." So ever since then, it's lifted my life to hear all these people doing music, and my Facebook feed is full of poets and artists and musicians, and it's just lifted my life up a lot.
Yeah, it makes life
Really
good,
grateful.
doesn't it? Yeah. What is writing like for you these days? Where do the songs come
Oof,
from?
it's coming hard, and so I'm going to work. I just came from one, Hints, and went to a Dar Williams workshop. Dar Williams runs great work. I go to a
Yeah.
lot of these with great songwriters. I only wrote 2 songs during the pandemic, and I've just, I need an idea that captures me, and I just had about 2 of them in the last couple of weeks. So it'll be a while because I gotta, read everything I can about the concept and
Do your
and
research.
Try to find an arc, a storyline, and then I get a couple of words. Once I get a couple of words, a melody can show up. And the melody wants to go with the words and the mood. So, it's going slow right now. I had COVID and lost a lot of energy there, and but I'm coming back.
Did I see on your website or someplace that you're going to a David Wilcox workshop or something?
Yeah, a number of years ago, I met him, and I've been a fan for a long time. I
Yeah,
met
he's a
him
great songwriter.
in Colorado, and so I've been involved with that crew since 2010. He really liked one of my songs, and met through him a whole bunch of people, again from all over the country, creative people, all stripes, and like-minded people. And it's so great to go to this workshop. It's annual. So I like that a lot. I like them a lot. And there are online ones too.
Sounds like you're good at feeding the muse, finding the inspiration of other creative
Well,
people.
through others, yeah.
Yeah.
The or as I say, I haven't been too successful at actually getting songs in the last couple of years, but I'm relaxing now, and I think it'll come back. There's we just have to see.
Well,
Keep
sure
trying.
delightful.
Keep trying.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's not really a rush, right?
Right.
If they come slow, they come slow.
Right.
As long as it's happening. It's really a delight to hear you. I really enjoyed your picking and your songs. And thanks so much for bringing it here.
Great. Well, I always enjoy coming here and hearing folks and
We'll look forward to
getting
seeing you
inspired. Okay. Oh,
Thanks so much, Rick and Matt. That was great, Rick. Next up is Glenn Merschel. This is Glenn's first ride on Open Mic America. Welcome, Glenn. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks.
We were talking about the open mics that you go to. You go to the Home Brew in Monroe,
Yes,
right?
Monroe, North Carolina. Yeah, actually, I'm part of a group called Southern Songwriters Association, and we do several open mics. But the one at Homebrew I run, actually this Thursday, I'm running one. So it's a lot of fun. A lot of good players come out.
So we chatted earlier, and we noted that your voice is not working, so you're going to play some instrumentals for us.
Yes, a little bit under the weather. The first one I'm going to do for you is off my latest album, Sands of Arabia. I have 3 albums online, and this one's called Former Status, so I hope you enjoy it. time I'll sing for you. So, this next number is off my first album, and it's called Footprints in the Snow.
Yeah, right on.
Beautiful.
What a finish for him, too.
Amazing.
It's amazing how much emotion and feeling you can convey, without words, just through the.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be in better
Instrument.
shape next week.
Oh, it sounded really
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thanks very much.
Do you find any of those stretches difficult?
Yeah, I do. And when I switch to keyboards, I do a little bit of keyboard work as, older age creeping in. So,
Because
yeah,
you definitely had some reaches there that I wouldn't want to do.
stretches can be hard, especially on a
Yeah.
12 string, to hit both notes accurately. It takes a lot. So.
Yeah, I was impressed that it was a 12. Can you tell us something about the guitar?
Yes, yes. So this is a Guild. It's made in Rhode Island, and it's my main instrument. I've made 12 strings my main instrument since the 1980s. So just to get more muscle and more beef out of it.
Yeah,
Being a solo performer too, I recommend get a 12 string.
sounded great.
But you
And
got to
like you
get a
s-
good one. Don't get a cheap one because it'll never stay in tune.
yeah, and trying to get that the kind of clarity you get out of it with the 12
Yes.
strings
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
amazing.
It's like a little orchestra in your hand. So.
The very first guitar I played, my older sister had a Guild 12 string.
Oh yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just, 11, 12 years old, and I tried to play it. I always found it a little challenging, but so what's the music community like for you in Monroe, North Carolina?
I'm sorry. The music I what?
The music community.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of good performers down here. There is some bands, different types of bands, country, rock, things like that. But most of the folks are singer songwriters, solo people, duos, and we're south of Charlotte, maybe half hour south of Charlotte, towards the South Carolina border. But it's a strong community. So and we'd share gigs if someone can't do a gig, call somebody. Yeah, can you do it for me this time?
That's nice.
We do that a lot. Yeah.
And you've been hosting the open mic for a while?
Yeah, for about a year now. I'm actually from Chicago, and we moved here last year. My wife and I, and one of our kids came with. So,
How do you enjoy hosting? What do you get from that experience?
I learn from people. Even if they're doing simple things or things that I may know of. There's wow, I didn't know you could do the chord that way or something like that. I mean, I don't know everything. It's always good to watch people and learn from them, and teaching guitar is a great way to learn for yourself as well.
Yeah. So you teach as well.
I haven't in a while, but yes, I have. It's School of Rock and other places in the past. So
Yeah, I always find if I really listen and if I'm open-minded, there's always something I can learn from everyone
yeah,
who plays,
exactly.
even if they're really inexperienced, and they might even make a mistake that I think sounds cool, what they consider a mistake, but I think it sounds sort of interesting, and I'll go, oh, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah,
So there's always something there. And of course the human heart is there
yes,
regardless of skill
yes.
level. And thank you, Glenn. Wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Glenn and Matt. Wonderful, Glenn. Wonderful. Next up is Jillian Matundan from Herndon, Virginia, and she likes the open air open mic in Ellicott. Is it in Ellicott?
Ellicott City. Yep, in Maryland.
Ellicott City. Okay, and let's hear what you got. It's your first time on Open Mic America. Welcome, Jillian. Welcome.
Thank you. I never actually know what I'm going to do until I come here. And so I was like, oh, I was going to do something else. I'm gonna change it up. So I'm going to do a song that is going on a new album that'll come out this year. Maybe this year, maybe next year. Still debating. But this is a song I co-wrote with a friend of mine, Kathleen Huber. It's called All Right Tonight. Left, right, between. Waves crash beneath. One back, one won't. First you think, then you try not to fall. Time slipped away. Too long to wait. What could you say? Will you ever stay? Let loose the tide. Let go the night. No need to fight. It's right, it's right. It's alright tonight. Baby, it's alright with me. It's alright tonight. Stay here with me. Stay right here with me. Won't you stay with me tonight? One army green, behind, left, right, between, bitter waves beneath, into the stream. It's arrived, it's mine. Let loose the tide, let go the night. No need to fight, it's right, it's right. It's alright tonight, baby, it's alright with me. It's alright tonight. Stay here with me, stay right here with me. Won't you stay with me tonight? Don't fight the pull when gravity draws in. We'll find the center this time. You know this can be right. You know you can't deny. We're right tonight. Ooh. Let loose the time, let go the night. No need to fight, it's right, it's right. It's alright tonight, baby, it's alright with me. It's alright tonight. Pretend you're safe with me. Stay right here with me. Won't you be with me for tonight? Just for tonight.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Pretty.
So, yeah. So I'll do another song from the album. This one I wrote. I wrote also from a songwriting prompt, which I don't do very often. I have a hard time with prompts, but it was a prompt. Actually, I think Rick, we might have been at the same retreat together, virtual retreat, maybe not. But I also go to the Dar Williams retreat. This is from that. This one's called Frozen. It's not the thing you might be thinking of. It's not Disney related. So, but this one's called Frozen. I see you through the cracks on your surface. The distance between dilutes the purpose. I don't know how we ended up this way. I don't know how to reach you when you hide away. But you say stay. It's been a long, cold winter with you here, right in front of me. You disappear. The ice came early in the fall, and now I'm waiting for the thaw. If it comes at all, you're frozen there, and I can't move, suspended in time. say stay and stay right here. Why am I frozen? You look me in the eye, but you don't see. I think you hear me when I talk, but you don't listen. The days grow longer, but I can't tell. I can't help you if you won't help yourself. That's it. It's just as well. You're frozen in, and I can't move. Suspended in time. But you say stay and stay right here. Why do I'm frozen? You're frozen in, and I can't move. Suspended in time. But you say stay and stay right here. Why should I? We're frozen. We're frozen.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Very Dar Williams.
Awesome.
I don't know, but thank you.
Wow, two gorgeous songs.
Thank you.
If this was a recording we just heard instead of you live, I'd be hitting repeat right now.
That's very kind. Thank
Just
you.
love your voice, and the emotional connectedness you have with what you're singing.
Thank you. Yeah. Most of my stuff is very written in the first person, so even when it's not, so it's easy for me to connect to it. But yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
And you don't find it hard to embody that when you're, singing in front of other people.
No, actually, it's funny. I have a hard time writing in like all my stuff right now is, I'd like to think that these days things aren't all about me, but apparently all my music is. But that's just from where I write, at the moment. I have a hard time with third person and personing things, but for now it's very primary person. So no, this stuff is very connected to me, and this album is actually quite personal. So I think that's probably where it all comes from. I think that has something to do with being like in this room for 2 years straight, probably.
Yeah, that'll do
you
it. Who else is there anyway?
I mean, it doesn't matter who else lives here. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, I had a lot of time to dig deep.
Well, it's interesting to me how connected being that personal is. Like I felt moved and I felt more connected with my own feelings listening to you. So
That's a huge compliment. Thank you.
It's an act, it's courageous, and it's also a gift to be able to, say what you're really feeling and put it into music and express it so eloquently. And it does connect with other people too. So
that's typically where, I don't do it in person. I think it all comes through my music. So sorry to everybody else in my life. Now you know.
Well, music can carry a lot of information and feeling that it's hard to do any other way, for sure.
Certainly for me. So.
Sure. who are your musical heroes, or who inspires you to?
Well, Dar's up there. Definitely. I started learning guitar around the time I discovered Dar Williams, Ani DeFranco, and Dave Matthews. So, if there's anybody who's who've had a lot of influence on me in terms of being a musician, it would be them when I picked up a guitar. But it's always a changing thing. I've actually lately, I think like Nathaniel Rateliff and Over the Rhine have really been who I've been listening to a lot of, and Kathleen Edwards is a new one. So I feel like I'm just constantly learning new things and picking up artists that I've listened to for years and just kind of really immersing myself. I tend to do that.
And are you writing a lot of songs these days? I think I saw on your website that it's sort of recent, that in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I only started writing music again in 2018 and playing out in 2019, and so no, actually, because I'm in the middle of putting out an album, no, I have to say that my creative juices have been sort of all geared towards that as well.
Yeah, sure.
I actually, I work full time too, so that's been, that's definitely something that takes up the time. But no, I mean, I'm having moments of creativity in between though. So I haven't been as prolific as I was during the pandemic when I could sit here and anytime I had a thought I could pick up a guitar. But now that we're sort of back into some sort of swing, it's a little bit harder to stay in that inspired space. But slowly but surely the songs are clawing out. But not as much right now, but I expect.
So you're actively working on a recording.
Yeah. I actually wrapped recording earlier this year. We're in the mixing phases.
Oh, wonderful.
And so, I had hoped that maybe I could release it in the fall, but between COVID and work and life, it was just too much. So I think it'll come out when it's good and ready to come out. But
Yeah.
it's okay. I think I prefer it that way. So we'll see.
Well, I'll be listening to it. I'm looking forward to that. So
Thanks. This has been
great
great.
to listen.
Awesome music. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Jillian and Matt, and congratulations, Jillian, on that upcoming release. And next, and closing the show for us tonight, is Mr. Pat Buckner from the wilds of British Columbia. And he reports that his favorite open mic up there is the Cranberry Hall in Powell River, British Columbia. So, Pat, take it away.
Alrighty, thank you, Capo Dave. This is a pretty new tune. Came out of an online music retreat that I attended here just last year. Waltzing with my mother, holding her tight. If only I'd danced with my mother one time. I know she would have loved it, I know she would have cried. I could have waltzed with my mother one time. Waltzing with my mother, her hand clasped in mine, arm on my shoulder, holding me tight. Well, I'd lead her around the dance floor and she'd stare into my eyes. I should have waltzed with my mother that night. And it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, dip, swirl, and glide. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, hold on so tight. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, never let go. If only I could waltz with my mother once more. Well, I should have danced with my mother that night. If only I could have swallowed my pride. Well, her eyes would have watered as we whirled round the floor. I wish I could waltz with my mother once more. And it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, dip, swirl, and glide. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, hold on so tight. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, whirl round the floor. Oh, to waltz with my mother once more. Well, waltzing with my mother, there'll be no next time. She's been gone now such a long while. And I can only imagine how much better I'd feel if only I'd waltzed with my mother one time.
Oh, yeah.
That's sweet.
So just before the pandemic came around, one of the joyful things about not living in America is you get to kind of look at it from the outside. And this next tune actually doesn't really have to do with America. It has to do with everywhere. Everyone I meet that been acting strange. Everywhere go now it's all the same. Cold wind blowing, mighty chill in the air. But no one seems to notice, nobody seems to care. Well, no one's talking, no one's speaking up. Staring at their phones, can't seem to get enough. Texting and tweeting, reading fake news. It's enough to give you the anti-social media blues. There's a clown in the big house, fools on the hill. We're all sitting ducks just ripe for a kill. But don't look now, 'cause we're the next in line. You don't need to watch a movie to know it ain't working out fine. Well, we're falling back to the bad old days. Same old mistakes now in brand new ways. Making poor choices, just look around. Well, the water it's rising, it's time to find higher ground. But no one's listening, no one getting up. Staring at the tablets and the coffee cups. Just hyping, Skyping, and believing fake news. It's enough to give you the natty social media blues. Now this ain't no place we ever wanted to be. Told we're making progress, but we never get free. And every path we take leads to another locked door. And you know full well we've been here before. Now every day something seems to get worse. System breaking down, now we're under a curse. Like BB says, babe, the thrill it's gone. And any fool could tell you what's happening, it's wrong. 'Cause our freedom's eroding, times are getting rough. Ain't no denying we should have had enough. And it don't take a genius to see what's going on. Well, it's time to make some changes, time to be moving on. But no one's complaining, no one's speaking up. Too busy taking selfies, too distracted to look up. And texting and tweeting, spreading fake news. It's enough to give you the anti-social media enough to give you the anti-social media, enough to give you the anti-social media blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, man.
Oh, sing it.
Oh yeah.
Anti-social media blues. I was singing along with that one.
Good.
What a couple of just really terrific songs, and so different. One's so personal and the other's, um, social commentary. You say anything about where songs come from for you? I know
Oh,
you've been doing this a long time, right?
yeah, yeah. I was going through my old catalog the other day. I got a song that's 50 years old, and I thought, oh my God, you know. And it's funny because I had no idea what it was all about when I wrote it, because I was so young. But I kind of figured it out now. But sometimes, sometimes you work them, and sometimes they just fall into your hands, like that first one there about waltzing with my mother. I was in this online songwriting retreat with Joe Craven, and he had a little workshop, and it was, he said, okay, you got 5 minutes, write a poem, and then we'll turn it into a song. And in 5 minutes, the first verse of that song just sort of fell out. And about 6 hours later, the song was done. And sometimes it's like that. It's just wonderful.
Yeah.
And other times, it's a word or two, or it's a line or two, or it's a melody, or it's a riff, and then you kind of have to just, for me, I find I have to play a song out a lot until it's done. I can get it to the point where it's passable in public, but then the final effort sort of comes from being live on stage or virtual. I mean, virtual has been a real lifesaver for me. I live in a pretty remote little community. I mean, we're 2 ferries and 5 hours away from a big city.
Wow.
Even in non-pandemic times, but now I can sort of work with a community of folks, around the world, in the virtual setting, and that's been just a wonder for me.
Can you say more about what happens when you play it live that you realize you want to change, makes you realize you want to change something?
Well, there's this other person that emerges when you're playing live, the other side of yourself, that feeds from the energy of the people in the room that you're playing for. It's like the old, if there ain't no audience, there ain't no show. And I've never really been big into being a performer, but the energy that comes from a live audience is just wonderful. This is great because we can have community online, but when you're in that room or on that stage, I got this summer, I got to do a couple of festivals. It's the first time in 5 years for me that I played any festivals, and it was just such a wonderful, energy. And I had another house gig outdoors, playing every week at an outdoor restaurant on the ocean. And same thing, every night it's always different, and you have the opportunity in those moments to kind of refine things, and I find that lines will occur to me that never occurred to me when I'm working on them, or a melodic change will happen, and then it just kind of becomes embedded into the tune.
So you get ideas like the song sort of wants to change
That's
as
right.
you're playing it live.
Well, I've learned, that the song defines itself. I don't really have a lot of control over it.
Yeah.
I wrote a memoir a few years ago, and I realized I just had to let go of all my intention and just let the thing write itself, and
Yeah.
that's what's
Yeah.
happened now. I've been able to start, songs are starting to pour out now, pretty easily, which is wonderful after all this time.
Yeah, the poet William Stafford talks about, a writer isn't someone who says something they know. They're someone who finds out what something by writing it first, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
Yeah, I agree 100%.
yeah. And I had a writing teacher once say that this was in a poetry class, but she said when you're reading a poem to an audience, the relationship is between the poem and the audience, not between you and the audience.
That's right.
They're there for the poem, and it's true for songs too. And it seems to speak to what you're saying, that the song wants to say something a little different to the audience that's listening than what you originally came up with, and
Well, that's
you're
right.
able to.
And like in movies, when you talk about subtext in movies, there's the action that's going on the stage, and then there's all this other stuff that's happening around it. And sometimes it's reinforced by the music, and sometimes it's reinforced by the visual imagery, or sometimes it's reinforced by just the cinematography. Or it's a contradictory message that's happening, and the audience is kind of let in on the big secret.
Yeah.
And I sort of feel that way a lot of times, that my songs, sort of reveal themselves to me through the performance.
Well, thank you. A really, really pleasure to hear you, and look forward to hearing you again.
Well, thanks. It's been a great evening. I've been really
Yeah,
enjoying everybody.
amazing evening. Yeah, thank you to everyone. Every single person has just been fantastic. So,
Well, thanks to Pat and Matt, and that's a wrap. That's Open Mic America 911, and I want to thank all our musicians. Tom Cooney, say hello there, Tom. Okay, Elsie Eastman, Joseph Isaacs, Rick Drost, Pat Buckner, Evan Acey, and Glenn Mershell. I think I got a Jillian Matundan. I almost missed you, Jillian. Okay, well, all these musicians are on our website. We have on openmicamerica.com, you can go to the performers section and you can look up all these musicians. You can find links to their websites, and you can also access their performances on Open Mic America. You can go right to the show. And we also have a section on our website that lists all the great open mics, the local open mics that these folks participate in. Also on our website, you can find show posters if you want to print them and help us spread the word. And there are t-shirts available. Alice has on a nice Open Mic America t-shirt that's available from a third-party vendor thing. They're pretty reliable. So I guess our next show is next week. And I'm going to be the host of the show. And I haven't even looked. Laura Bartowitz is our show engineer. And I guess Evan Acey is going to come in and be our tech guy. No, he's going to be our interview host, right? You're going to be the interview host? Yeah. Okay, so that's a wrap. So we're going to say goodnight, wave goodnight. Everyone's going to mute, and our show engineer is going to get everything.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Thanks, everybody. I gotta go. Well, have a great night.
Bye,
Nice to see you
Elsie.
guys.
You're up.
Okay,
Nice to
take
meet
care, Elsie.
you.
Bye.
Good.
thanks, Elsie. Wonderful
Bye,
to
Elsie.
hear
Bye,
you.
Elsie.
Thanks.
Sounded good.
Are we off, Alice? I guess we are. I hope we are.
Hope we are.
Okay.